So we're pushing this Tractor Supply cart to its limits here. They say it's got a 900-pound capacity. It's hard to see that, but it's working pretty good. We the sides fold down over the side to make a flat surface. Let's chuck the pallet on top, and we're able to get the whole chicken coop up on there and wheel it over, because I realized I built it not anywhere near where we were putting it, and it got heavier as I built it, as always. So still gotta do some finishing touches, paint it, and we gotta put some cinder blocks down and get a fresh pallet from work that'll fit, prop it up, and drop it in its location. Cloudy day, solar's still working good though. New truck, haven't mentioned yet. The Jeep died, so I can get it working again, but we wanted to get our new reliable truck, so went out and got an 06 F-150. So yeah. So as you can see, it's a lot greener on the place. Oh, there it goes. I love it, trees are growing in. Only downfall to that whole situation is it's a little cloudy today, but right now there should be direct sun on the panels, and they're a little in the shade, so still trying to figure out where this best location for these is. Also, with all the pollen and everything else is becoming a mess. We haven't been here in a day or two, so it built up quite a bit. Gotta get that all cleaned up. But today we are here laying the foundation for the chicken coop that we wheeled over here the other day. Still gotta do some finishing touches. Steph had painted the inside. We got paint for the outside. We have roofing. We got some latches and some other stuff to finish it up today. So we're just leveling out the foundation, getting that all set up. Picked up some pallets from work. And yeah, so coming along. Hopefully we can get all these birds moved over sooner or later. Get them into the pen. So I'm out here moving all my rocks, working on building the stone wall. Saw this guy pop up, or assuming girl. Since that looks like an egg sac, I believe. Buried down in the rocks and all the dirt. I don't want that thing jumping on my hand.
The chicken coop in place and painted, it gives us the chance to start getting the fence up, which we're just using a chicken wire for now. It is a 6-foot fence, and it isn't quite as sturdy as the galvanized that I have around the ducks, but it is cheaper that way and was able to give us more space. We'll just have to be really diligent about getting them in at night, because it's more for keeping them in than for keeping predators out. We did put in a bunch of posts last night, just using trees that we've already taken down and cut to length, dug a couple feet in, and then we put gravel underneath them to have a little bit of drainage so that it doesn't rot the bottom out as fast, just one small layer. And at the moment, the fence is around, but it's not secured because it is an odd shape because we have 2 trees in here that we're trying to use as posts too, and use what's around us the best that we can. But this one over in the corner here is leaning outwards just a little bit, and I don't know if you can see on camera, but it's making it so that the fence can't lay correctly. So right now we are ratchet strapping it to a bigger tree and trying to just pull it in that tiny bit so it straightens it out, and that way we can get the fence set, and then we'll let it go and hopefully it all stays. It's connecting right up with the duck fence over here, so they'll be right next to each other, and hopefully in time then we can acclimate them to each other. so they get used to each other through the fences. But the chickens are definitely ready to be out here. I've been putting them outside at home a little bit here and there during the day and then bringing them in at night, but they're definitely ready to be out full time. So I'm trying to get this done. Just got caught with some branches there.
Alright, so after felling that tree, we were trying to, would have made some great firewood, but we're trying to build another barrier around the new chicken coop. So as you can see, after I felled that tree, the top twisty stuff pretty much just went to my fire pit. All the straight stuff, I pretty much just measured, cut the length, and wrapped it all the way around. And it got more than halfway done, just with that one tree, so. Then we'll be filling that with dirt and rocks and probably put some other stuff, rocks and logs, whatever I can get on the other side, maybe some smaller stuff, just to give them a little protection from stuff digging underneath the fence. So you can see it from the inside. See the tree wraps all the way around. And we're debating, this is what separates the duck and the chickens. There's one tree that goes all the way down, which I might take out now because originally that was just the outside of the duck coop or paddock, and then now the chickens are here, so we don't really need that much of a barrier between the two. So I might try and dig some of that out, but you can get the concept of what we do. So far it's worked pretty good in our old duck paddock, and the gardens we do the same thing, so usually it keeps the critters out and we haven't really had a problem, so hopefully this does the same.
Alright, hey guys, so I'm here with my red potatoes, which you originally saw me building this raised bed for. They're doing extremely well. I was actually afraid that they weren't going to, because probably about 3 days after I put them in the ground, we had about a week straight of rain, which I was afraid was going to rot the potatoes out and kill them. But luckily this peat moss is actually draining out really well. We got some sun after that. They started blowing up extremely quickly. All I have in here that's the soil is I have a combination of a little bit of topsoil, some organic humus and manure, and then I've got a peat moss in here. And then I fertilized it with some hardwood ash, some organic bone meal, some organic kelp meal, and that's pretty much it. And they've actually been doing really well, a lot better than last year. Last year at the other house, I planted them right in the ground. They did pretty good. I got, 5 or 6 potatoes per plant, but this looks like they're going to do a lot better than that. So you can see I've got everything from some that have just started sprouting. This side took a little bit longer than the rest. The middle had come up first. You can see how big they're getting over here. So what I want to do, I would have liked to have done it 2 or 3 days ago. I'm a little bit late, but it's better late than never. Then I'm going to start doing what's called hilling them. So I'm pretty much just going to bring in soil, which I've got a bucket that I've already mixed over here. I'm simply using peat moss and the organic humus and manure. I'm doing about a 2-to-1 ratio of that, 2 of the peat moss, 1 of the organic humus and manure. I get my organic humus and manure from Earth Grow. It's always done really well for me. I've used it probably about 3 years in a row. It makes the peat moss really rich, but also still allows the peat moss to be nice and well drained and loose for the potatoes to grow through, which seems to be working really well for them. I probably get those bags for about $3.50 to $4.50 a bag, depending on where I get it from. It gives you about 2 square feet a bag. It's going to be different depending on what state you live in and if you can get your hands on that, but it does do really well for me. So I'm going to start hilling it, and when I'm hilling it, I'm not going to cut anything back like you do with your above ground crops for the underground crops. I'm literally just going to cover up these lower leaves. So I'm going to be nice and delicate on the ones that are a little lower, put some more on the ones that are higher, and that'll let these branches actually start to turn into potatoes too, so that your potatoes can keep growing upwards above the seed potato that you planted at the very bottom. So I'm actually really happy with this and how these potatoes are coming out, so I just wanted to share that with you guys. I also wanted to mention that if you guys go back and check out when I made this raised bed, how I actually used the soil that I had dug up to do it here, the sod, with all the roots that I was worried that it was going to grow back in. It's actually doing really well. We've had a little bit of stuff grow back in. Like you can see here, some sticking up, and there was a little bit more than that, some taller stuff that I've been pulling out as I go. But I just pull it really delicately or cut it back. It's doing really well. Like I said in the last video, if it continues to be a problem, I might try some white vinegar or something. But the regular routine maintenance of just pulling it up seems to be working really well and keeping it back. I'm not getting anything in the garden. I barely actually had to weed this raised bed too much at all. A couple little things in there I can pull, like you can see right there. Just little guys popping up here and there, but they're doing really well. And then otherwise next to it, I do have my small onions, my scallions, that are actually coming in really well. I planted them at the same time as my potatoes. I literally used the same exact soil content as I did for the potatoes in here. So it's doing really well. Oh, and when I was talking a minute ago, I also meant to mention that I am not going to fertilize the soil that I'm putting in here for filling, because this fertilizer that I put in originally should still be active, and I don't want to over-fertilize them. When I hill the next 1 or 2 times, I might add a small drip line of the bone meal and the wood ash, but otherwise that should cover it for now. And while I'm hilling each plant, I'm just going to take a quick look underneath the leaves here, since it's getting a little big. I probably shouldn't have to worry yet, but over the next couple weeks I'll definitely start having to worry about the potato bugs. They like to lay underneath the leaves, so you'll see the eggs underneath there, and you can brush them off and kill them. But I like to check as soon as I can, just because if you don't catch them, you wait a couple days, they'll destroy your plants really fast. So it's better to just be diligent with it. Luckily on these guys I'm not seeing anything, so I'll keep checking the rest of the plants as I go here. Oh, and that's that. So a couple weeks ago I picked up this plant. It's a silver philodendron. It's a type of angel plant. Goes indoors. He looks really nice. I've got him on the corner inside on one of the actual log columns. He looks really nice hanging off a black hook above a shelf. And I went in there today and there was dirt all over the shelf and ground. And I'm like, why is there dirt all out of my plant? I didn't quite understand what was going on. And then I was checking the plant out. If you move the leaves back, I don't know how well you can see that on camera. Sorry, I'm trying to get to where I can see too. It's above me here. You can see the big hole there that somebody straight bored down into my plant. Not too happy about that. But I've got it outside right now because I'm not sure if it's a mouse. More likely a chipmunk. But somebody's obviously in there. I don't know if he's still in the plant or not. But I wanted to let it get some air anyway. I'm going to fill that hole back in. Put together the rest of the bridge. So having to use the axe and the draw knife to kind of level out the spots where he needs to get the pallet slots to fit right. Trying to mix up the colors a little bit. Kind of just being the hander offer right now. And then he's going to take the saw and just kind of run it down the sides to cut them all to length. And then we're obviously going to pull them all out of the water. We're not going to let them go. And we'll be running some 2x4s down the sides to make rails. It's a little later in the afternoon. It's been a really rainy day all day today. It's actually Memorial Day. So we've been getting some stuff done. Otherwise, we went down to a greenhouse and picked up some plants, and I'm going to buy some off my mom too, because she sells plants, and dig some up out of the yard, and we're doing some gardens up top. I'll show you as we do them. Otherwise, I think this is going to be really nice, and better than crossing logs.